Yo, welcome to another If You Pause video. This is going to be a video on vibration. So brace yourselves, I guess. As always, pile number ones, pile number twos, and pile number threes. Feel free to pause the video. And we'll start off with pile number ones. Okay, pile number ones. What do you see? What energy do you feel from this? Sorry for the background noise. Pile number ones. Just picking up on it. Okay. What do you see? What do you feel? Pile number ones, this reminds me of my energy update videos. I don't do them anymore. I might bring them back, but there's something I usually do more with myself now. I check in with myself. Um, if you haven't seen those videos, if you haven't been on this channel for a long time, you won't know what I'm talking about. So you might want to check it out. I think I call them collective energy updates. The energy that I'm getting from this, or like the vibration, if you like, 'cause that's what this reading's about, is kind of, there's an understanding of oneness here. And like the vibe that I get from this reading is with those energy updates, it's like they're a reflection of us. And through understanding our own vibration, we can understand the collective vibration too. It's just how far down that rabbit hole do you want to go? You know, it's like the example I'm getting from this is that, like, a little bit like an onion. The first layer is kind of almost like the ego self in this 3D reality. And then when you want to know the collective energy, you just have to unpeel more of those layers and go further down. But they are essentially within us, you know? So if you're understanding that concept, like individually, you'll be able to understand it collectively if you just go down that rabbit hole, if that makes sense. Very hard to explain. I'm not sure if that metaphor kind of explained it well, because like the metaphor, like to make more sense of what I'm trying to say here, it's like the onion, right? But it's like every onion, the center is the same thing that everything's connected to. So we're different onions, right? And we take off different layers of our onions. We all look different. We kind of all look the same. All onions look the same, but they kind of look different, right? Some are oddly shaped, some are smaller, some are bigger. But what I'm saying is the center of that onion is all the same thing. So to understand ourselves as an individual, we have to understand that we're this certain shaped onion, but know that in the absolute center of that onion, we're all of the same thing. So Vibrationally, I think spirit just wanted to bring that point to you. You know, you may disagree with it, but it's just something to think about. I think I'll have a think about that myself. I think that's something that resonates with me, but again, I think the explanation of it still needs a little bit of work. I haven't mastered explaining that concept, although I believe that it's a concept that has been going on for an extremely long time. I'm not trying to say that I'm first to come up with that concept. It's just explain. You know, there's a lot of spiritual metaphors and ideas in books, in knowledge, in quotes, in um, just everywhere. But what I've come to understand on my spiritual journey, it's one thing speaking or knowing the knowledge or the idea or the concept and actually fully understanding it. But I was also going to say like vibrating in it too, like actually truly aligning with it and understanding it. It's very different. It's just a very different feeling. So pile number ones, you might be on the same page with me on that, understand where I'm trying to go. But yeah, I hope you got something from it. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, part number two is talking about vibration. Reminds me a little bit of Morpheus. Morpheus and the pills. So I feel like part number two is this, because this is about vibration. I feel like this is going, this is super deep. I hope I've got the brain power for this. Like the Morpheus analogy wasn't too far off the point here, but as you can see, that there's this dotted line which is connecting the two, and I don't even know what to make of this pole number twos because I feel like this might just blow my brain, but um, there's this kind of concept coming through, which is like the red pill and the blue pill are the same. I just can't. I just can't. I don't even think I've got the brain power to try and unpick this either. It's like Neo and Morpheus. Neo going to Morpheus, like after his whole journey, and like Morpheus telling him like it doesn't matter what pill you chose, you was always gonna end up doing the same thing. I don't know how that would even be possible. But that's kind of the vibe here. Pile number twos, you might. Sorry, I'm just taking off my jacket, getting cozy in here. Yeah, pile number two, there might just be something in your energy. maybe this is explaining your current energy. Maybe there's something in your energy which is a little bit like fuck it, which is a little bit like it doesn't matter what road. Like there's maybe something here where, and this is definitely a grounded, simplified version of what this reading is showing, right? Because like I said, quite honestly, I don't have the brain power for the depths of this one today. So I'm going to have to simplify it for you. There's something almost like extremely complex going on with the thought of, you know, red or blue. It's kind of almost like wrong or right. You see, like, I am a believer actually that there is wrong or right in life, at least here. I think the higher vibrations we go, maybe not so much. I think we are just more in flow of the higher vibration. But I think in this reality, the 3D reality, there's a little bit more option here to make, you know, and I guess, you know, I'd argue that there isn't such thing as a wrong, like a truly wrong choice, because it's like we're in the infinity, if you ask me. This thing just keeps on going in different forms. So there's no truly wrong answer, but there are wrongs which hinder us, where that option keeps us maybe in a loop for a longer time, which is just, you know, I wouldn't say not productive, because we're involving time there, and time is pretty much an illusion too, but, you know, it's just out of flow, you know? So there's things that we can do which are in flow for our highest good, and there are things that are not. So to call it wrong, I understand why people don't think there's such a thing as a wrong way to go. But it depends on how much weight you put onto the vibration of a wrong answer. So when I'm talking about doing a wrong answer, a wrong thing, I'm not talking about the wrong it being like an eternity of wrongness, like kind of wrong. I'm just talking about, well, there was a better way of doing that. That was in your scope and understanding. If you didn't know something and you make a wrong choice, that's not really a wrong choice. But when you know better and the devil dangles the carrot and you still go and grab it, in my perspective, that's a wrong answer. That's a wrong choice. So again, does that mean that you ate the carrot from the devil, or try to at least, that you're going to be doomed forever? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for that time, you knew better, so it was a wrong answer, or wrong choice. So pole number 2 is, I feel like there's a vibration here where you could just be a little bit like I said, like in a fuck it mood, like I'm just going for this. Like, it's almost the energy of accepted my fate, whatever that may be. So I don't think there's a wrong and a right. Funnily enough, I don't think there's a wrong and a right piece of advice I could give you here. Because if anything, in terms of my intuition, I think that if you are in this energy, pole number 2s, I actually think that you're doing the right thing. I think there's a time and a place sometimes to be almost a little bit reckless. There is a time for that. There's a time to go apeshit on someone. It's, you know, point 1% of, or even less than that, it's 0.2% of the time you should go apeshit. 0.2, I'm trying to say. But there is a time. Sometimes the peep from the universe reveals this little 0.2%. And that's the time when you should be in that vibration. That vibration is needed for whatever reason. If it's the person breaking into your house, or if it's, you know, a rare moment that you need to defend yourself or defend your family, defend someone you love. There is a time for that. Most of the time, it's not the way. You know, like I said, 99.9 whatever percent. You don't need to do that. Even in the times of crisis, even in the times of panic, it's not the time to go apeshit. But there is a 0.2% time when apeshit is exactly what you need to do. So this might not be talking about something physical, pile number twos. It might not be physical violence or physical aggression. This might be just taking a risk of some kind, taking a choice which some people might see as mad. You know, it's almost like saying, fuck you, Morpheus. I know it leads me to the same place. It's like someone's giving you the A or B, and you're saying, fuck all of you. pushing Morpheus out of the way. And say, I'm going to find my way out by my damn self. And I don't know where that journey is going to lead you. That journey might just lead you to Morpheus on a different day, but maybe Morpheus kind of respects you more and says, like, do you know what, Neo? Do you know what, pile number twos? I gave you that choice, but you've actually shown me the choice that your heart is going to make. So I'm going to help you out here. I'm going to tell you to take the red pill from what you've shown me, or blah, 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 da, 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 da. And what you might see is that just like how you took the leap to say, fuck this, you'll realize that actually you did still end up in the same place, but you maybe ended up in the same place, but you kind of, you grasped a new understanding, you know? So it's like, let's just say, for example, a good way to explain this is, let's say, for example, this simulation, you know, if you believe we're in some form of simulation, let's say that actually all our stories are exactly the same. Like all our soul stories are the same every time we reincarnate. So the story, like, we're put on this earth and the story is pretty much the same. But obviously we come into this human vessel, or this vessel, like in different periods of time. So everything looks a little bit different, but the story is pretty much the same. And the more your soul does this, the more you realize, oh shit, I'm here again, doing the same story over again. So the least I'm gonna do, or not the least I'm gonna do, but just to make this a little bit more spicy, just to get more out of this experience, I kind of know what my fate is. I know what this story is gonna be like. I'm just gonna push myself a little bit. I'm gonna see how far I can take this. I'm gonna see how much I can learn in this experience. You know, some of you, this is gonna just really hit home with and resonate with. And as I'm saying it, I can kind of resonate with it myself. So like, you know, there's maybe a part of you, pile number twos, which knows deep down inside kind of how your fate's gonna play out, but you're starting to just encompass certain traits which say, I'm confident in how this is playing out now. So much so that I'm going to walk in it in a different way. I'm going to walk in it more confidently. I'm going to walk in it more boldly. I'm going to, step into it. Like, let's say if part of your story was, there's a part of your story of life where, like in the movies where someone has to jump off the waterfall. Like your first time round, your first life experience, you might have jumped off this waterfall. Like, it might have taken you like 5 hours to build up the courage to jump off this waterfall. But like your 50th time round in this life experience, you come up to this waterfall and your soul has already done this 50 times. So it looks at this waterfall and you jump just like in 2 seconds, because you already know that you survived this jump. And it's almost like your soul has built up the courage anyway, so it's easier for you to do. Part number 2 is, I'm not sure if you were able to like hang on for dear life in staying with me with this reading. But yeah, there's some solid gems in here. Some real solid gems in here. Like, if you was able to stay along with it, congratulations, because it was quite a very deep one, if you ask me. But generally, if you want the summary, it's to do with like finding this confidence in yourself and your fate. I feel like fate has got a lot to do with this reading. It's finding confidence in your fate and just really rolling with the punches. Really just like going for it now. So part number 2 is, I hope you was able to, like I said, probably a million times, get something from this. If you did, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Part number 3 is vibration. Look at you with your funky trousers on. Part 2 with their funky trousers on. A little detail here. I'm just going to draw this chair, like very basic. The chair very much isn't important here, but I just wanted to give it some grounding. Right, while I'm filling this in, what do you see? What do you feel? Filling in this character's luscious hair. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Okay, pile number 3's. A little detail that I'll just want to add here is there was a connection which I didn't show. Which I will show now, actually. Maybe just being lazy. And that's the hand just kind of touching where this character is sitting. So there's something here. Why I'm saying that's important, because there's a slight touch. It's funny because there's almost a little bit of a Matrix theme going on in this bigger pile. When I'm looking at it, it's kind of reminding me of the chair in the Matrix. It's nothing like that chair, but the position that this character's in, this feminine, like the chest is a little bit extruded, almost like they're getting jacked in. The most important thing here, I would almost circle this area here, because there's a touching of the chair, and that symbolizes to me grounding. For anyone who's aware of that technique, there's many ways to ground. I'm not sure how much of a science there is to it yet, but most people are familiar with grounding through like bare feet grounding, where you put your feet on the grass and you ground. But this character here is definitely grounding through feeling the chair, so, it kind of reminds me of, when someone gets drugged up. This is a really bad analogy, actually, because it's a little bit intense or dark. But when someone gets drugged up and they're scared and they don't know where they are because they're drugged up, but they touch the bed or they touch the chair, and that makes them realize, okay, look, I know where I am. There's maybe something, pile number 3's, and I tell you what's interesting about this reading. Out of all the piles so far, this is the most grounded energy out of the vibrations. I was going to say, pile number 3's, you may need to find something that helps you ground. But I think you might already be doing it. I feel like you're right. You might already be doing it. It's almost like, if I could, I'd go back in time and tell pile number 1's and pile number 2's, listen to pile number 3's, because they're finding a good way to ground. And what Spirit was just giving me here is, Spirit was actually saying, like, the feminine energy are actually doing this through the trend of crystals at the moment. They're actually using crystals to ground. That's why it's a big trend at the moment, currently. I don't know, maybe it's not by the time I release this video, but I think generally everyone who's listening to this can say, oh yeah, there has been a little bit of a trend in the past few years going on where, quartz crystal and rose quartz crystal and just crystals in general are starting to become trendy. Spirit was telling me that actually the feminine energy does this through those crystals, or that's why it's becoming so trending at the moment, because they're naturally using that energy to actually ground. And I never saw it that way. Like, it makes sense saying it out loud, but that's what Spirit was giving me, because it's like, usually when people are buying crystals nowadays, it's usually for some kind of manifestation or protection. But Spirit was giving me, amongst all else, or above all else, I should say, those crystals are helping that feminine energy ground. And for any of my masculines out there, just remember the masculine and feminine energy resides in us all. So whenever I go off on a tangent on a certain energy, just remember that it's within you anyway. So pile number 3 is, I don't know what it is for you, but there's some form of technique that you're starting to master or understand. You might even be at the start of this journey, where you're realizing that you've got something that helps you ground. It may even be for some of you like a routine, you know, a certain exercise that you're doing, a certain, habit, or I don't really know exactly what it is. Like the crystals was giving me like that ding ding energy. Like sometimes I get that ding ding from spirit, like that's it. But I do feel like for some of you it's all different. I also just got the image of like plants as well. For some of you, you might be grounding through plants. But whatever it is, it's like I feel like almost pile number 3 is you would be actually quite good teachers in helping people to ground. So if that's something you've never thought about before, there's something in there, which is telling me to tell you to think about that. It's not so, and again, when I say a teacher, I'm not saying quit your job, whatever that might be, and become a teacher in grounding. It might even just be through sharing content with people, you know? It might just be a hobby. It might be just sharing what you've learned. Remember, God always rewards when you follow that flow. When God kind of pours that energy into you, however you might see that, if it's just raw intuition, if you call it the Holy Spirit, if you call it divine energy, when you actually tap into that and let it flow through you, like God always rewards. That's just facts. So it's something that I had to learn as well, actually, because I was so good at turning everything that I enjoy into businesses. I had to learn the lesson that sometimes just do things for because it's flowing through you, because it's flowing through you, and the reward will always be there. It may not come in the way that you expect it to, but it always comes. So pile number 3 is, I'll end it there, really. I just want to say before I do go, just like a well done as well, because like I said, the energy of grounding was really solid here, and it was giving me the image here of almost like it's like the gentlest touch can muster up an army. Almost had that kind of energy to it, and I mean that vibrationally, like with the grounding too. It's almost like the gentlest touch. Like imagine like the softest touch, and then imagine 100 million roots just spurring from that one touch. I'm not sure if that's like Venus energy. It's very like Mother Gaia type energy, Like if Mother Gaia was like, maybe it's like Aphrodite. Like imagine Mother Gaia type energy, like reincarnating into a human, and then it's like that energy of like seeing like a dead tree, and then she touches the tree, and that tree just like it starts to get better, and then like 100 apples just pop up on that tree. You got something like that going on number 3. And yeah, like I said, it don't matter what gender you are, but like there's something like that going on. So honor your grounding energy as I'm honoring it today. Part number 3 is, if you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.